Dear friends, today we'll be seeing in this topic IO processors, how are IO processors handled by the microprocessors, and how IO processors are being handled with the help of IOP. Now, let us have a gist. What do you mean by IO processors? IO processors handles all the interaction between the IO devices and the CPU. When we say IO processors is being handled by a microprocessor, that means that microprocessor can transfer data between the input and the output port that are connected. And when we say that IO processors can be handled by IOP, when IO processor is handled by IOP, microprocessor can perform some other function at the time of the IO transfer. This is mainly responsible to increase the speed of the system.
Now, what do you mean by IO processors? Now, we have seen DMA, we have seen the different sort of buses, the different sort of address lines, and what are the different sort of input-output processors. Input-output processors handle all the interaction between the input and output devices, and all of these are being interlinked with the CPU. Input output processors also communicates with the input output lines through different sort of buses, address bus, data bus, and the control lines. It also provides an independent pathway for the transfer of information between the external devices and the internal devices. So how the data gets transferred is also been determined with the help of the input and output processors. It also relieves the CPU of IO devices code. So it can also be used for reliefs of the CPU which are taking place. Now, when you look at this particular diagram, the CPU has three different buses: address bus, data bus, and control bus. And all of these interface are been interconnected with each other, where the different external devices which are being attached are keyboard, CRT display, printer, and magnetic disk. All of these external devices are directly linked with a different sort of interface in a bidirectional way, and they are being connected with the help of your CPU. Now, when you look onto the keyboard, the interface gives instruction to the data bus, address bus gives instruction to the interface, and similarly the control bus gives instruction to the interface. When you look at the CRT output display, the instruction from the data bus goes directly to the interface, then it goes directly to the CRT display. Similarly, the address bus directly gets connected, gives instructions to the interface, which goes to display the output to the CRT display. And similarly, it goes with the help of the control bus also. The same instructions are being followed in case of your printer, where the instruction from the data bus directly goes to the interface. Address bus also directly gets connected to the interface, and control bus also gets directly connected to the interface. And the printer as an output device is bidirectional because it is communicating with the interface. In case of your magnetic disk, the interface is bidirectional with the data bus, address bus is unidirectional, as well as the control bus is also unidirectional. Now, what is the function of IO processor? It will communicate with all the IO devices which are being readily available. It will fetch and execute its own instruction. IOP instructions are specially designed to facilitate IO transfer. Direct memory access controller must be set up entirely by the CPU, designed to handle the details of the IO processing. It is used to address the problem of direct transfer after executing the necessary format conversion or other instructions. In an IOP based system, IO devices can directly access the memory without intervention by the processor. So it can directly access whatever the memory is there without any intervention of the different processors which are present into the system. Now, how is input output handled by my microprocessor? Now, microprocessor can be of the form of 8255A, 8251A, 8272, and so on. Microprocessors can transfer data with input output port. Microprocessors are required to form an interaction between the I/O ports, and microprocessors are also required to give the instruction to the different I/O ports. They can transfer the data at a very high speed between the CPU that uses the DMA controller to transfer the data. Microprocessor still needs to set up the device controller, initiate the DMA operation, also examine the post-transfer status after the completion of the DMA operation. When the operation has taken place, what is the status of the data that is being transferred with the help of the DMA operation? It is also being checked or verified with the help of the microprocessor. Now, how output operations are handled by IOP? For example, 8089 is considered to be an IOP, that is input output processor. When instructions from input output is handled by input output processor, what we call in short form as IOP, microprocessor can perform some other function at a time of IO transfer. So multitasking, multifunctions is being possible with the help of 8089 IOP. And what are the benefits? This will increase the speed of the system. That is, the speed increases, the data transfer increases, and multitasking also increases. The example over here is 8089.